It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and the registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, we got a special guest in the building.
George, we have an extra special guest today, and I am more than excited because the person that we have on, which is Miss Me'Shae Rolling, who is the executive producer of an amazing event that everybody has been hearing about, and that is this year's 2025 Financial Empowerment Convention, is our guest today. Me'Shae, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Vicki and George, for having me. It's an honor to be on America's Money Maven and inspiration for the nation at the same time.
How
All
about
right.
that?
Okay. Listen, yes, right, George. Okay.
Hey,
So,
can I just?
Me'Shae,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead,
I was
George.
going to say something. What I love, I just want to. Maybe should I save this because I just want to give shout outs, but even before I get started.
Go ahead. All right.
I just love, a lot of times when people say, well, Vicky does money, Me'Shae does money, and they can, and I want y'all to know that Me'Shae and Vicky work together. Okay. So
They
I
don't
just, no, but what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to make it clear
know.
that
Okay.
we can do that. We can do that. And I'm just proud of the two of you sisters. Y'all two of my favorite sisters in the world, and y'all are doing the darn thing. And the fact I just wanted to highlight because people don't get that you can collaborate. And
Collaboration is the way everything moves forward.
okay, and you got two of the queens of collaboration right here. I just wanted to say that. Okay.
Oh,
Y'all can
Me'Shae,
go
we're gonna
ahead
get to
now.
the point now. We're gonna go Queens of Collaboration. That's our new motto.
y'all,
But
y'all get it done. That's all I want to say. All right, I'm gonna sit back and let you do what you gotta do,
it's
Vicky.
really wound up today,
I
George.
am.
Okay. Well, I gotta be careful. But anyway, just a quick acknowledgement because I see your white ribbon.
Yes.
I got my white ribbon on. Okay, why don't you
Yes.
go ahead and tell everybody about the white ribbon real quickly?
So, by the way, Vicky, and I was one of the keynote speakers at the Vera House White Ribbon Campaign. It's our annual campaign to raise awareness about men taking a leadership role in the prevention of violence, particularly against women and girls. We had our kickoff this week, and on April the 25th, we have our White Ribbon Campaign walk. We're asking people to participate, purchase a pin, purchase a bracelet, and really help us to raise unrestricted funds so that we can end violence in this community, especially domestic violence, sexual assault, and other forms of abuse. So thank you for that, Vicky. I appreciate that. And so we wear the white ribbon to say that we never support, or remain silent about abuse of any kind. It's work that we have to do every day. Thank you for that, Vicky.
You're quite welcome. But guess what? I know that Me'Shae is going to talk about the fact that we should not remain silent about the things that are necessary in order to create financial inclusion, empowerment, and in our communities, and the steps that we need to take to do so. So, Me'Shae, let's get ready. Okay, I want everybody to get ready for what we're about to hear. So this year, you have sort of changed the format from past time periods when we had the financial empowerment symposium, okay, years ago. And I wanted just to take a moment to give you some space to explain to us what this changed format, why, and what it means.
Certainly, and I appreciate this opportunity to sort of share the genesis of of this empowerment summit. So, for many years, I had attended financial empowerment related financial literacy conferences on a national level, and I always thought, wow, wouldn't it be neat if one day something like this were in Syracuse? But at the time, I was a hybrid entrepreneur. And so the timing wasn't right. So in 2019, shortly after I acquired Event Prep, I thought, all right, now's the perfect time to not only marry my passion for financial literacy education with my background in event and conference planning, but additionally, that's around the same time Syracuse was ranked very high in terms of concentrated poverty. And quite frankly, I had to look up the word concentrated. I didn't know what concentrated poverty was. So I
Mm.
educate myself. So I gave myself a year to plan it. And then, of course, as everyone knows, the pandemic hit in 2020. And so we were all in uncertainty and limbo period for a couple of years. And then, of course, a couple of years, I was running the Minority Chamber of Commerce. So that's where the 5 years went. But in 2021, if my recollection serves me correctly, we did do a virtual debut to the community that you and George participated in. And it's funny because a lot of people thought that was the end product, uh, but it wasn't. And so here we are with the convention, the scaled up version of the conference around the corner. The original venue is no longer the Crown Plaza, and
Mhm.
so this past year has been the perfect recipe to say, you know what, why not go for broke? Number one, pandemic is behind us. Number two, I have the capacity and the bandwidth. Number three, people need it now more than ever, particularly in our current uncertain economic times. And so that's the genesis and the history, and I can't believe that it is actually pretty much a week away.
Yeah.
It is really, okay, it
This
feels like
Saturday.
the time, yeah, Saturday, the time was slow in coming, and then all of a sudden it just sped up, and now we
It's
are
here.
1 week away. Okay. So one of the things I noticed is, and I found this very interesting, is that you have structured, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have structured the convention so that we have particular focus groups and affinity groups that have tracks that are applicable to particular circumstances that are more important to that particular focus group. What are they, like 12? I'm trying to count them. How many focus groups are there? Me'Shae, tell us about that.
Certainly, where we have youth and young adults, college age students, seniors, veterans, entrepreneurs, um, low to moderate income, middle to upper middle class. So at least a dozen. And the reason it was structured this way, Vicki and George, is because one shoe does not fit all.
There you go.
What was relevant to me and us in my 20s is looks very differently here in my 50s, right? So if you are a young adult or college age student, more likely than not you are facing student loans, and you're trying to learn how to navigate that, particularly in our current economic environment. And we also have Say Yes on that track to talk about scholarshiping, not just with our local academic institutions, but any college or university 1 to 10. So that's for youth and young adults. And then in terms of seniors, seniors are particularly susceptible to elder financial fraud and abuse. So thought that it was really important to tackle that. And even though identity theft is on the general track for anyone, we specifically made sure that was, available for seniors in addition to Medicaid, Medicare, and then moving on to veterans. We are just over the moon that the Linder Center for Social Justice at Syracuse University is the sponsor of the veteran entrepreneurship track. So there will be specialized track sessions for them. And moving on a bit, I often call the minority and women-owned businesses my peeps. Those are
Hmm.
my peeps.
MWBEs.
Yes, yes, or non-certified. So
Yeah.
um, I think there really is something for everyone here. Let's start out with the hybrid entrepreneurship component. There are many who are still working the traditional daytime job,
Right.
putting bread on the table, keeping a roof over the head, while starting a micro business enterprise, just like I started out before full-time business ownership. And then we have panels of, experts willing to share their testimony about how that they made that transition or that
Mm.
difficult choice. And some are even willing to be open and share their current revenue stream or multiple streams of revenue for that matter. We also have under the track of entrepreneurship, brick and mortar business owners who will share the trials and triumphs of running a brick and mortar enterprise and how it's different than selling goods and commodities. And then I'll kind of round this out with the service-based professionals. We have a number of consultants in our community. So if you sell services, how do you price yourself? Um, how do you get paid on time? Right? Because if you're a W-2, that check's going to come in like clockwork every 2 weeks. But
Hmm.
when you're a consultant, you may not get paid like clockwork. So they're going to share how they navigate that. So I'll pause there because George, I think you had a question.
I do want to, well, not a question, but really to add to your list, you also have a Latino, Hispanic track as well.
Right. And so
Absolutely.
you said something really critical, and that is the same shoe doesn't fit everyone the same way. And you have taken the time to make sure that individuals are being, or at least individual groups that have a certain commonality, have a track that's going to be very specific to them so that the maximum amount of information can come out during that time period that is very specific to them. So when individuals register, do they choose a track or what, how does that work?
Certainly. Well, the platform that we are using, it allows people to actually build their own schedule. So once they have registered through the website, and even before they register, they have visibility on the tracks. They are color coded and fettered out. And so they have visibility on it pre-registration. And once they've registered, they have the ability to actually build their own schedule that day.
Good, good, good. So going into the convention, you are going to know exactly where you're going, what you're doing, because it looks like you built a lot of new technology into the process. Is that right?
Yes, indeed. When you're, scaling up for a conference or convention this size, automation is important and learning how to, employ efficiency tools to enhance the end user experience.
So all of that, okay, which was very official, Me'Shae, means that we spent some time making sure that this was going to work well for everyone so we could all have a very, very in focused day throughout. Okay, this is not something that was just thrown together, happened by itself. I am so proud of you. I'm going to say this on air because we've known each other for a long time. You have done an amazing job in everything that you've done, but particularly this convention. And I'm hoping, employing everybody, if you haven't registered already, you need to get registered as soon as you possibly can to make sure that you do not miss what's going to be an outstanding amount of content and also a great experience. Because at the end of the day, after you have gone through and learned all that you need to learn, what's happening, Me'Shae?
Yes. Well, before I get to what's happening, because I'm glad you walked into that fun component. The one thing I do want to not be remiss in saying is that regardless of the affinity tracks that we have created, we're any financial education conference worth its salt is going to have those core topics, such as credit, debt management, identity theft, how to, and, we even have, George mentioned earlier, the affinity track for Latinos, where their sessions will be spoken in Spanish. We do have one called For the Faithful, especially, for those who subscribe to belief system, what is the difference between poverty, prosperity, and stewardship, particularly in the church. So
Hmm.
yeah, we're gonna go there because it's a real thing that
Yeah.
people deal with, right? So moving on from the educational content by day, where we will also have exhibitors, we're going to have Financial Fest in the evening. So listen, the attire for the day is not business suits, pumps and heels. Wear your best dress down, streetwear, hip hop, however you want to say it. Normally I have my tennis shoes here next to the Zoom, but I'm gonna be wearing my fly, if that's not an outdated term, tennis shoes, right? But so that's number one. And then Financial Fest is a celebration of your financial journey. You will have received a ton of educational content throughout the day, and we want to celebrate with you before you go back home and hopefully, employ the knowledge and the learning that you've gained. So, what does Financial Fest look like? Think of it as an indoor street fair or block party. So while it's, dreary April here in Syracuse, we're gonna have fun inside with concessions and vendors and three DJs dancing, Otto the
Three
Orange
DJs.
Man, three DJs, and
Okay.
Otto the Orange Man is going to be there. So we're just gonna have a good time to top off.
Now, Vicky, do you have your fans? Because
My fans.
because there may be some boots on the ground. Oh, I'm just trying to. Where your fans at?
All right. Okay. All right then. But I wondered what I was really going to ask Me'Shae is that like because I see here I've been watching and everybody should go over to the Financial Empowerment Summit.org website. But that's Financial Empowerment Summit.org. And we're going to get a special message there from, I guess, a special friend of yours, Mr. Cedric the Entertainer. Tell me about this, okay?
Yes, so a few years ago, when again we were in limbo and that period of uncertainty because of the pandemic, and we were still all virtual, to stay safe, I needed to find a way to keep the public engaged. Like, okay, this worldwide, epidemic has hit, but we're not going to give up. The idea is not going anywhere. People are always going to have experience financial difficulties. So I reached out and asked if he wouldn't mind recording a video through Cameo, and he did. And so just a couple of weeks ago, in the throes of planning the convention, I remember it was a late Saturday night, and on a whim, I thought, let me take a chance and reach out again. And lo and behold, Sunday morning, that video was in my inbox.
Well, great, great. Okay. And so the message that he has here, okay, emphasizes just how important it is for us all to make sure that we attend and partake in all of this knowledge and all of the things that are happening concerning the Financial Empowerment Convention. So the last thing I'm going to ask you is this, Me'Shae. I don't even have to guess, although you look fantastic, how tired you are because this is a lot of work, a tremendous amount of work. Tell me a little bit about the team that's working with you and all the individuals that have been a integral part to making this happen.
Thank you, and bless your heart, Vicki. So now I'm really gonna kind of go off script. I can't count how many times in my days of planning events that folks who had the mic got to the mic and suddenly had amnesia regarding the team that helped plan the event. And I had always promised myself that if I were that person with the mic, I wasn't going to, forget who was assisting. So I do have a core team. We have Essence Britt Reed of Cream the Collective. Essence is my project manager. We have Eileen Bowe, proprietor of Admin on Call, and Eileen is the quintessential administrative assistant, and she will in fact be the registration captain day of. And we also have Stephanie Ellen Parks. The interesting thing about Stephanie is that I've known her for years. She reached out last fall to be an exhibitor. An exhibitor. And then as time progressed and I realized a lot of the initial logistics were in mobilization, and now I needed to build out the team and start cloning myself and delegating, Stephanie was just right there. And so now she is in charge of all the exhibitors. So beyond the core, yes, ironically, so beyond the core team, I do have, a board is a small board, but I do have a board, and in addition, the event prep team will be the ones running the convention. I sort of made a deal with myself that the day of, I want to enjoy as an attendee. I want to enjoy the convention through the eyes of an attendee and just enjoy myself after almost a year of planning and just let the team run the convention.
Well, listen, I'm glad that you're going to take the time to do that, because a lot of times individuals who are running or producing an event never get to enjoy the event. So again, I'm encouraging everybody, remember this date, Saturday, April 12th. Location at the On Center, downtown Syracuse, the 2025 Regional Financial Empowerment Convention. To register, you need to go to financialempowermentsummit.org. Get your registration, build your calendar, build your schedule, build your track, and be sure that you get there first thing. What time? Kickoff at 8 o'clock, is that right, Me'Shae?
Doors open at 8. We might open a little sooner if we see the lines around the corner. Because again, the doors open at 8. That's registration, continental breakfast, and then we'll file into Exhibition Hall A, where we'll conduct our opening ceremonies starting at 9.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Right.
Thank you for taking the time to come out and share with us about all the wonderful things that are happening at the Financial Empowerment Convention. And we'll probably do a wrap-up conversation with you while we're there, just to get a little bit of a flavor, since you were going to attend as an attendee there that day.
And I do have to say one thing for the FCC, that I am a partner as well as Vicki in the Financial Empowerment Convention. Okay, we done did that.
Thank you.
We done
I
did
was
that
gonna do my
business.
shout out. I was going to do my shout out. Yes.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely. Thank you for taking care of that, because I forgot to do that for, as you say, for the FCC, to make sure that we disclaim, okay, make everybody aware, disclose.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
So
right.
first, I do want to thank Brackens Financial Solutions Network for being the sponsor, particularly of the Green Room. So thank you, Michael, your entire team for your tremendous support. And George, not only will you be on site, we have your media badge for you. We have a press badge for you. You and your team. We're
my
trying to be
team.
professional, okay?
Come on.
Yes, yes. But anyway, but you and I have already interviewed one time about this. So I just
Yes.
want to thank both of you for your tremendous support, your friendship, and I hope the both of you have fun and have a great time that day as well.
Well, I'm looking for my fly shoes. So I
Okay.
can make sure I got some
Listen,
fly
hey, wait,
shoes.
I just got a delivery, so watch me.
Oh, gee.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Me'Shae. You have a wonderful day.
Same to you. Same to you both.
Okay.
All right, Vicki Brackens, is our plate full? You gonna do all that, Vicki?
Well,
I'm gonna take a
George,
photo of the three of us on my phone.
Is your plate full, Vicki? What we doing?
well,
Okay.
George, my plate is more than full at this point in time, but I want to make sure that maybe we do some wrap up on some of the national news that has taken place over the last
Well, we'll come back
week or
with that.
so.
All right.
Okay.
Very,
All right.
all
Can I
right.
get you all's photo now?
Well, yeah.
I have my phone up. Okay, Vicki, 1, 2, 3. Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
So when will I get this recordings to shoot it out on social?
Let's wrap this up and then we'll talk. Vicki Brackens,
Oh,
President of Packers Financial Solutions Network LLC and the registered representative of LPL Financial member SIPC. She's America's money maven. And we want to thank Me'Shae too.
Okay.